Chinese Premier Li Keqiang has arrived in Belgium. He is attending the 21st China-EU leaders meeting in that city, where he'll sit down with the European Council President Donald Tusk and the European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker. Premier Li will then go to Croatia for the 8th leaders meeting of China and Central and Eastern European countries. He's expected to discuss planning of the 16+1 cooperation mechanism. Li's trip comes less than a month after Chinese President Xi Jinping toured Europe.
The National Development and Reform Commission said that Chinese cities with an urban population of between 1 to 3 million people should completely drop the hukou system this year. That comes as the NDRC on Monday detailed its 2019 list of measures to prop up urbanization. The NDRC also said that those cities with a population of 3 to 5 million are required to substantially ease their hukou requirements for all people.
The mid-large cities are playing an increasingly important role in the Chinese economy. Those include some provincial capital cities such as Changsha and Hefei, and some major provincial cities that are equally or even more developed like Xiamen in Fujian province and Qingdao in Shandong province. There are also fast-growing cities in the coastal areas, say Suzhou and Dongguan.
The NDRC also asked the 3 to 5 million population cities to cancel their current residency restrictions for certain groups, including college graduates, overseas returnees, technicians, and rural residents who have been continuously working in the city for over 5 years. The NDRC urged megacities like Beijing and Shanghai to optimize their point-based hukou systems by streamlining restrictions and expanding quotas. The NDRC said that the algorithm should be mainly based on one's length of residency and social insurance payments in the city. Analysts say accelerating urbanization could help drive China's economic growth.
We are sending this strong signal to the society that the government is unleashing economic potential by encouraging free movement of talent and resources.
The 2019 government report targets China's rate of urbanization at 44.4% in terms of hukou registration. Analysts also say this year's hukou reforms could narrow the rural-urban income gap and support the real estate sector by boosting housing demand in China's medium-sized cities.
China's foreign exchange reserves climbed to nearly 3.1 trillion by the end of March. That's according to data released Sunday by the State Administration of Foreign Exchange. China's reserves increased $8.6 billion or 0.3% from the end of February. It was the 5th straight month of increase and China's largest exchange reserve since September. SAFE spokesperson and chief economist Wang Chunying said that last month saw an increase in the U.S. dollar index. Wang said that the index was affected by such factors as the China-U.S. trade talks, Brexit uncertainties, and policy exchanges by the U.S. and European central banks. An increase in financial asset prices and changes in exchange rates also were cited for the gain in foreign exchange reserves. Wang added that China will continue to keep its economic growth within a reasonable range despite uncertainty in the global market. Meanwhile, analysts say that the supply and demand of foreign currencies in China's foreign exchange market was basically balanced. They attributed such balance to Chinese currency yuan's stable exchange rate and the country's expansion of financial opening up. Data also showed that China's gold reserves amounted to about 60.6 million ounces by the end of March. That was the 4th straight monthly increase.
Under the watchful eye of an experienced instructor, we were allowed to test fire the T-5000 at the closed shooting range. The state-of-the-art sniper rifle is used by the FSO, Russia's secret service agency in charge of protecting President Vladimir Putin. It is produced by Orsis, a small weapons producer located on the outskirts of Moscow. This company's products are anything but the picture image of how everybody imagined Russian weapons: sturdy, rugged and bulky. Orsis is the face of Russia's new weapons and also a great example in which direction Russian military is heading. 140 Orsis workers are producing arguably one of the best sniper rifles in the world. And although weapons assembly is done by the hands of experienced craftsmen, Orsis is implementing some of the latest production technologies. And the results are widely acclaimed.
On the basis of T5000 sniper rifles with calibers of 7.62 by 51 and 8.6 by 69, we developed rifles that have been adopted by the armed forces of the Russian Federation and are now being delivered to them. They like our rifles, as can be seen by the increase in orders of our products.
A $700 billion rearmament program running till 2020 has produced a new stealth fighter jet, the world's most modern tank, Armata, drone aircraft and ground combat vehicles. But still, despite all that progress in weapons systems development, delivery to the units of Russian army is not going as planned. Out of an expected 2,300 of the latest Armata tanks to be delivered by the year 2020, only 100 have been put into service. A similar situation is with the Su-57 stealth fighter jet and the AK-12, a new assault rifle.
We're adopting new technologies, new combat tactics, using that new equipment. But it doesn't mean we need to forget the earlier T-72 BM-3 or the modernized tank T-80. We're not throwing away those in order to use only the Armata tank. Why would we do that? That's insane. It's very expensive too. Russia can't afford those expenditures. We don't want to compete with the United States' military budget.
Analysts say the Russian military budget and army rearmament is not just a matter of spending. It's helping to upgrade the industry to a higher technological level. It gives permanent jobs to many high-skilled workers and experts, significantly increases the country's GDP, and also leads to new businesses. And horses is one example of that.
For years, this neighborhood in the Mexican border city of Mexicali was virtually forgotten, but an innovative art project aims to change that. This is one of 23 newly painted murals in the Chinesca neighborhood located just blocks from the U.S.-Mexico border. The artist calls the piece Three Immigrants Like the Three Kings. It celebrates the fusion of Asian and African cultures in this part of Mexico. The renovation project was coordinated by the Tomate Collective. It began with a contest with more than 200 artists vying for a chance to take part. Just 21 were selected, the majority from Mexico, along with one each from Kenya, France, and Italy.
The artist researched our culture, traditions, and history, and they also spoke with community members, so their creations depict our history with pride and transform these walls into more pleasant spaces.
Local residents agree. Amado Beltran is originally from Mexicali and immigrated to California to find better paying work.
Before, I would see garbage in the streets and it would look deteriorated, but these images bring beauty to our city.
This mural explores the history of Chinese immigrants in Mexicali. Historians say they were among the original founders of this border city. This piece celebrates the arts in Mexicali. It's called Mexicali Rose, named after a well-known local song about a visitor who came here and fell in love. The mural was painted on the site of Mexicali's Reforma Theater. It used to be the site of dance productions, plays, and concerts. But like much of the rest of this neighborhood, it too was closed down years ago. Artist Marco Miranda is the creator of the mural. His works of art have been shown in the Americas, Europe, the Middle East, and China. Miranda says his mural is a show of respect to this border city's mix of cultures.
It's a homage to all that. But the most incredible thing is that woman in the image is my wife. I had never painted her before. The old Reforma Theater is the best place for it.
On this side of the border, the artists and their corporate and government supporters decided that instead of separation, these walls would be used to create a stronger sense of unity. It's a message that's taking hold in this Mexican border community.